Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Wolfenstein the Old Blood. It's been a little bit of a time since I last played. I've slept since the last one. So we're not 100% sure, now that we've entered the village, whether this is just going to be a falling action sequence where we weave through the village and get another nice little skybox, or if there is actually some level of stealth that happens here, or that's necessary. It definitely does feel like you could have some stealth sequences, although it is getting kind of questionable as to whether you could really have a full shootout in a level like this. There, I've managed to hurt myself by touching fire, although it didn't actually reduce my health or armor that much. All the citizens of the village have been told that curfew is enacted and that there's a dangerous American wandering around and to stay away from windows and doors. And, so, yeah, the whole zombie apocalypse. Beware the wolves, kind sir, kind sir.
I don't understand.
Do you not hear the snapping of their jaws? The wolves will devour us all if we do nothing. So is he talking about the Nazis? Or is he talking about zombies? Or is this just all still very much in the mind of B.J. Blazkowicz, and this whole sequence, this whole game may just be a trip, as it were, a hallucination? Yeah, it doesn't really feel like, when you look at this map, like there's actually going to be a quest here. Like, if anything, it just feels like there's going to be maybe an escape sequence.
That's the tavern. That's where I gotta be.
We're still, I assume, like, what is our exact goal? Get to the village, reach the tavern where Kessler should be. That's our informant. We're trying to find
Do not sit and sing in the moonshine.
trying to find out Helga's secret.
Ich bringe Sie zu Herrn Kessler.
What's your name?
Annette.
You kind of have some nice animation
William J.
on these
Blazkowicz,
characters.
US military.
Do people call you that?
Father used to call me Billy Boy.
Billy Boy. Billy Boy. Billy Boy. Seltsamer Name für einen erwachsenen Mann.
Some people just call me BJ.
I like this better. You look like a BJ.
Thanks, I suppose.
So we could overcharge a bunch of health, but probably not get enough health for any of that. We could come over here and see if there's a sleep sequence.
Mr. BJ.
Yep, there is another sleep sequence. And see, I don't know if I've missed a sleep sequence or what. Like, so once again, we're going to start a whole episode here doing this, and like, we don't know if this is the next level or if this is a couple levels ahead and I just missed some sleep sequences. And at this point, I wouldn't have really recognized any of these levels. I do, at some level, appreciate not having to listen to the same old background noise over and over again. And certainly having a map now is going to be very useful. And looking for like secrets is probably not as useful or necessary. Alright. Does kind of feel like you're going to end up going in many different directions here. I feel like I can hear dogs. I guess the question is, can I get my health overcharged or my armor overcharged by a very high number in this level better than I can in other levels? And this is definitely more of a case where I think it feels like there would have been a secret here, but nope, just some silver. Let's run through here. It does kind of really boil down, though, to being fairly obvious that I would personally prefer to finish these levels fairly quickly. Like, if you told me this was the last level and this takes you to Mecha Hitler and they skipped a bunch of the middle tier levels, I would be happy. Although I just don't think that really is the case, because I think at some point you do actually get into the sewers. Apparently I opened a door and didn't realize I had. So the path that you travel in the original Wolfenstein 3D I don't think is too different, or at least has some parallels to the original Wolfenstein. The Old Blood has similar paths. Right. So that is one angle. If that angle breaks down that way, then we've got to come back this way. And then try and find some secret passages, although I guess I suspect there aren't any. There really is just only so much that this game can really offer to you. You have like green explosive barrels from Doom, because yeah, this was a floppy disk drive shareware game, and then you would order off via the mail for the small percentage of people that actually did ever buy the second episode, and you'd get another floppy disk or two. There are so many worse... Oops, where'd that guy come from? Just so many worse ways in which games have been sold these days that it's almost quaint that shareware was ever a concept. But actually, as a concept, as far as how to sell games, it's not particularly good. It requires a level of faith that most consumers have been broken of as far as video game sales and just any product, in which you have to assume that all the good quality content isn't on the shareware disk and the other content is going to be worse than the first taste. And I guess inherently, shareware probably deserves some of the blame for the habitual problem of games being better at the beginning and worse near the end. And I wouldn't be surprised if shareware in general has some level of blame that they deserve to take for why there are so many gamers out there that just get bored with games and move on. Yeah, getting 5 health though is not going to get you up, because just walking around, even running around at the top speed, is not going to work. Running alongside this wall. And basically, I think what I have to do is run alongside the walls, tap the X button, then look back and determine whether there was a panel that opened or not. This does feel like this is gonna just curve back around. I guess the question to ask is, does the elevator on any level have to really be in the edge, or could it just be anywhere you want it to be? And that's kind of a great example of a shot that you could not have done in the original version of the game. These barrels would have acted as blockers, both for your own safety and for your own frustration. Yep. If anything, this feels like this is a dog kennel without there really being any dogs, because we're seeing a lot of provisions, but it doesn't also feel like a sewer system, and honestly I just don't think it is supposed to be anything. I think the way it really boils down is that there's just always going to be random assortments of rooms. In the original version of the game, having 4 people shooting at you, some of which would have probably been shooting at the table instead. That would have been potentially a game over there. And there aren't that many secrets to actually justify running around as much as I am. A lot of these guys tend to be not in the direct line of sight when you first enter a room, and it's not like they're patrolling or anything, so that doesn't quite make the most sense. Remember, headshots don't count for anything. I could be using the assault rifle, but in this point, in these games, it is better just to use your silenced gun, not because it's silenced, but just because it is it's not because it's silenced, just because it's faster to shoot. A lot of people here. A lot of bullets. This might be a case where you actually do need to collect all the old silver in one of these levels for it to give you an achievement. And I've just been fairly lucky up until this point. There might be also a secret exit on some of these levels, which that is a really long hallway. You definitely would not succeed in shooting those guys if you were playing the original game. Alright, so there is a whole secret area, plus there's notice how they're hitting the roof. Let's see. Run against this long wall to see if there's any other secret. So what do I think is going to happen if I find a secret exit in one of these levels? It may just have us play the secret level. What's the point of collecting all of this, though? This is really an echo of the original game. And see, if they had even told me that there was like one perk for collecting a bunch of old silver, then I'd consider it worth it to do all of this, but it really does not come off like it is. Getting dog food is once again only going to overcharge your health so much. We seem to consistently have bullets maxed out, so some of these rooms yeah, all this would just be for score, I suppose. Like, just to raise up a score that you don't even really get. There you go. Best case scenario, I got it to 125. So there's this giant section that's a vault. It feels like if there was an achievement for getting all the old silver specifically in one level, you should get an achievement for picking up the last piece of old silver, not waiting until the end of the level. Honestly, it just kind of comes off lazy that they intentionally replaced all the other stolen art and jewelry with a consistent old silver. Like, just so they don't have to have crosses in their game. Or more swastikas in their game. Like, and yeah, if you're trying to expose the entirety of the map, which is kind of what you're supposed to be trying to do, now we're gonna have to run back in different directions. Like, there's only so many services, obviously, that this game has. It's interesting that that door was open. Yeah. This might be the first time we've seen beds. So there could have been like some potential inception there. There's not going to be a secret door on this wall, and probably not that wall. And then this is just an alcove. Alright. And yet we've still missed a big section. You can't run between those, even though it seems like it would be very easy to run between them. Let's see, we are here. We need to go check out this area. I feel like these guys may have been slowed down to some level too. Like, it would be fairly believable if that was the case, and these enemies are moving very slow because I'm playing on a very easy level. Alright. Nothing but a dog in here. Unless there's some secret around the corners, which they do like to do that. And then I think we'd already been here. Interesting. Yeah, this is where we started. So have we been everywhere now? Yes, we have. Or at least I'm going to take it as we have. Another 30 minutes of kind of story-breaking old school Wolfenstein playthrough. Still with no good explanation as to what we're doing or why we're doing it. Is this the right direction? I think it is. Yeah, and this door still is open. Oh, that door is open actually because there was a lock on it. Come to think of it. So you'd think you'd just get like a score from that. But instead I get an achievement, and the achievement does kind of seem to imply we probably missed 2 or 3 sleep sections. Pause now if you want to read. Pause now if you want to read. Pause now if you want to read. But yeah, we're in the middle of kind of falling action. So this is kind of a good place to put it. Certainly if this was going to be the only place where you could play any Wolfenstein level at all, that would have been fine. But it is also just like game breaking. I'm at 100 health, I'm at 100 armor. I don't think any bullets or armor that I would have picked up in the dream sequence would have led to anything. I feel like this girl may be betraying me, or this woman may be betraying me, but we'll see. That would explain the wolves, although the wolves may also be robotic.
First.
Das ist Herr BJ, Herr Kessler. Wusste das Passwort.
BJ? William J. Blazkowicz, U.S. military.
Yes, I recognize your voice. Where's your friend?
In Abraham's bosom.
Dead? Annette, mein Kind, überprüf die Fenster und versteck dich dann unten in der Höhle.
Ja, Herr Kessler.
So there's all kinds of dogs.
I must get her downstairs.
Alright. So let's run around here and see if we can just grab everything as quickly as possible. There, we got a health upgrade too. Which... Let's get this armor as high as possible. Like, I got my health up to like 350, so... I've got my health at like 450 charged up, so if I was supposed to get it to like 500, that... Yeah, I've gotten it over 500 at this point. So unless there was some regenerating armor, seems like the game intentionally there wanted me to get the health upgrade, which, let's see, kill 5 enemies in a row with overcharged. All overcharged. I don't even know what that means. I guess I'm overcharged now, so let's do this quickly.
Take care of the Nazi pigs, Agent Blazkowicz. Kill them all.
Alright.
Lock this door. Don't open it until I say it's safe.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and try and kill as many as possible with this major overcharge, which we just did. I'm out of grenades.
How many goddamn Nazis are there in this world?
Alright. Alright. Cool. You're not really in a good position here for like really not in a good position to fight all these people at the same time, like, or run around and try and pick up more ammo. It does seem like now is the time potentially to open the cellar up and just max out as much ammo as possible. And see, my health is still overcharged at this point. Was even more health. So we now have the maximum health. Stealth takedowns will be in our new focus now. Overcharging armor to 200 is our focus. Killing things with the bomber snouts is a focus. And then stealth kills and MG46 kills from cover will be a focus. So basically anything and everything I haven't done up until this point is the new focus. And I'm very often bringing about like dual guns and then not really using the dual guns. and only pulling the right trigger. Which, honestly, it should just fire when I pull the right trigger. It should fire both, and then there should be some real strategy around the idea.
Nazis are all dead.
Oh.
You can. Never mind.
Come on. So I assume that this is the bad guy that we try to electrocute. And we'll just use our really strong weapons. Just having to peel off all the armor. And I guess just in easy mode, since I have so much health.
Agent Blazkowicz, over here!
Right. So I guess he is not our bad guy, and our health and armor did go below 100. Health now 125.
What was his name?
Wesley. What about the girl?
She's coming with us.
I mean, what's her story?
I'm all she has.
So we again have some falling action after a big boss fight. Seems like they oddly didn't want you to do any kind of stealth sequence anywhere near the boss fight, or an action sequence near it. Action sequence makes some sense. But it does make an odd situation where I end up doing the secret BJ Blazkowicz things.
What remains of her family? Should take them with me.
Pause now if you want to read. 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 Just a lot of dialogue and text. Like a lot of dialogue and text all in one place after a big boss fight. This feels somewhat reminiscent of the events of like Resident Evil 4. And that just exits the level.
My things!
Here.
Oh, thank you.
So you could get a different like
So,
ending
where
there.
are we going, Kessler?
To Wolfburg. That's where Helga will be, with the document folder.
What's in Wolfburg?
Death, Agent Blazkowicz. Death.
So we're just going to a totally different location. Part 2, The Dark Secrets of Helga van Schaub's. Definitely makes us feel like that could have been DLC. The first part could have been one part of
17th
DLC.
March.
This could have been a second part of DLC
Sunday.
for the New Order.
The day of Purim.
Yeah.
I made this gift for my friend and father's workshop here in Wolfburg. It's Jewish tradition to give food on this day, but I wanted her to have something special.
What is it?
A cat. Her favorite animal.
Can I
was going
control
to
the
give it to
camera
her.
right now? No.
Then the Nazis came. Bin ich schon so lange hier?
So she's Jewish, and they
City of secrets.
pretty much in the Wolfenstein reboot
It's
don't
really
focus
saved by death and destruction.
too much around the Jews, and being
poking a stick into its rotten guts.
being mistreated
Morbid
as
curiosity
much as it
of a child.
really probably happened, as far as I understand it.
Was ist in der Tasche?
Although, in all fairness, the Americans really didn't know
Blätter.
or didn't care to investigate how
My wife
terribly
used to spread flyers
the
like
minorities were
these.
being treated in Nazi Germany anyways.
Nazi pigs put a rope around her neck for it.
Wie schrecklich.
And it doesn't actually
Eine
make
Sorge, bitte.
the Wolfenstein games
Blazkowicz kümmert sich um dich, wenn ich weg bin.
much better if
Ich kann auf
You
mich
make-
selbst aufpassen.
the Nazis look worse in this game. It's just taking up time when we could be running around shooting Nazis. Like, you come into a Wolfenstein game saying, I'm going to kill a bunch of Nazis. I want to kill a bunch of Nazis. So you take that as a given. Yes, you don't want to
Blazkowicz.
put the Nazis in a
Looking
good
for
light,
USB
but
agent 2.
you can
I called
mostly
ahead to
focus
say
on
that you were coming.
BJ Blazkowicz
Who knows
experience,
where Helga
which
is.
Good.
probably won't run
So
into
much
too
death
many.
for a silly folder.
When we don't find it, there'll be a whole lot more.
Yeah. You don't run into
and
too many
Annette
other
will hide in
civilians.
here. I stole some radio devices from the Nazi pigs. We can use them to communicate. Take this, and then get out of the boat and help me push it under the jetty.
So we had the radar device, and apparently that gives us
Hier,
an
meine Liebe.
achievement for getting the radar device. I don't know why.
Agent 2's house lies beyond the market square, northwest, behind the tavern, next to Schmidt's and old baker shop. Use the same password as before.
I almost wonder if it's an idea that you are going to eventually realize that you're hallucinating and that the headphones are just voices in your head. Alright, well, let's go to the main menu because we're in this weird point where we've been going for 42 minutes. Let's look at the collectibles just to see. We're now in the back half of what seems to be 8 chapters. And we haven't seen a single zombie, so the zombies must all be in this back half, which does kind of imply that this front half could have been in the New Order, but arguably maybe it wasn't that good of a content in the first place, and that's why it got cut and then re-released as its own standalone game. We defeated Rudy Jaeger, so it is probably just going to be some Helga type monster, a monstrosity that we fight. Yeah. Unless we find that Rudy Jaeger comes back. No, I guess if there are going to be zombies, it would make a lot of sense for Rudy Jaeger to come back and be a zombie version of himself in power armor. And not finding a lot of the letters. Statistics wise, we are now eking up on this friend, Agent Grandpa, who I have no idea who that is. All the people that friend me on Steam are usually just fans or random people. But yeah, this does kind of imply to me that Agent Grandma did not make it all the way through the story, although he probably got very close. And we just have a lot of numbers and statistics, none of which really matter. This is probably the outcome of being obsessed with statistics and analytics when making a video game. There's all kinds of feedback you can get in QA testing, certainly, to count all of the number of kills, number of times you've died, and try to make some assumptions based on those facts. And it does feel like some gamers, game developers, like to put those same analytics in the end product. Although you are really too late at that point if you've released the game and then you're thinking you're going to tweak say the amount of damage a bullet does or the amount of damage a gun does, because that just really implies you did not do enough testing in the first place. As far as the world rank, you can see we are only a third of the way there, so it does seem like a lot more people in general have played further than halfway through the game, which I could kind of see people being satisfied and not playing any further. And do I want to take any challenges on? Well, oddly, if I'm going to take a challenge on, you have to survive. Which, I really don't want to do research again. Really don't want to do the bridge again. Let's see, if we played this on the highest setting here, we have to look at this loading section, and I have no idea how I'm going to actually pull this off. Okay. Yeah. No way. 0% of your 10 shots hit the enemy. That is guns blazing reward and giving me a score of net 0. Meanwhile, seems odd that you can only compare yourself to friends in the leaderboards. You'd think you'd be able to compare yourself to everybody on the world. If you can't see the global leaderboard, that does certainly make an argument that that there might be a lot of hackers / cheaters. And I meant to change the difficulty, and instead I've loaded back in. So yeah, you just try to start here. Yeah. Kill one person at this point, and that would have gotten you the lowest score. Yes, but you have to actually survive, I think. Yeah. I just don't really feel like there's much to do here. I guess for the sake of just saying we did it, let's play each of these challenges when we have a free second on the easiest mode, since I'm playing the game on the easiest mode anyways. Okay. Like, you can't throw a knife or shoot anybody from that angle. And I don't think you could actually run the gun there. I don't even know if I can get up here. So you can like climb up here and then jump maybe over to this part over here. Alright. Okay. And see that there's definitely a question here as to, like, was I supposed to be able to make this jump in any way? It doesn't seem like you are. So I don't think you're really supposed to just go all out and shoot all these people alone. But maybe you are. And so we don't have any of like the perks as far as the health or we don't really have anything like that. So am I really just supposed to end the level at that point? I guess I am. 8 quick kills in succession, 20% of your shots are good, destroyed 45 environmental objects, killed 11 with the assault rifle, picked up 25 supplies. That gets me a fairly high score that would have gotten me a higher score if I played on a higher difficulty, but then with the higher difficulty, the more damage you take. Some of these kills don't actually have any values on them, like knife kills and kills from behind or takedown kills, gored enemies, handgun kills, dual-wielding kills, assault rifle kills. None of those are actually giving you a value, so theoretically you probably should be always targeting a headshot kill. Let's check the leaderboard here. Nope. Still can't see a global leaderboard. Yeah. And it definitely feels like for some levels it is not, it is time based, and for some levels it doesn't have to be time based. Unless there was some quicker way to get out of the research center that I didn't realize. I'm still very confused though as to what the deal is with the challenges, because they don't seem to connect to any of this. They don't seem to unlock gold. They don't seem to unlock concept art. Not that the concept art is even that interesting. They don't seem to unlock character art, which is also concept art. And then I'm actively not trying to read anything because I'm being lazy about that. And then even the statistics here, I don't think that integrates your actions or gives you a higher score by doing the challenges. So it does just feel like, again, this may have been cut content. I don't feel like there were challenges in the New Order. There could have been, and I just didn't play them, didn't bother with them. It doesn't seem like there's really a reason to bother with these in the Old Blood either. If anything, I'm hoping in the next 4 or 5 hours we'll just be done with the Wolfenstein the Old Blood. It doesn't seem like we're going to see anything really amazing happening here. The zombies may show up. It may change how we play. We may get some small upgrades to weapons. We did get a scope for one weapon, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get some other small upgrades. But I also suspect very little is going to change, and it's just going to be 4 more chapters of what we've already seen. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good